Good evening, gentle and lady men. Today on the review board we have a pouch Amphora Kentucky blend. And I have to say I was pleasantly surprised by this. I've had it for a few months now and I really do enjoy it. Now I'm relatively new, full disclosure, I'm relatively new to dark fired Kentucky. I've only been smoking it for 4 or 5 months now, so I don't entirely, I'll admit, have my mind wrapped around what is quote unquote supposed to be good and bad about Kentucky blends, but I'm working on it and I'm learning. And I really do appreciate this particular blend. This is Amphora Kentucky blend. It's made by Mac Baren, though the importation in the United States is handled by Sutliff, but it's made by Mac Baren, which should tell you automatically that it's going to be good quality tobacco. And I have to say, just from the outset, this is surprisingly good quality. When you open it up, the pouch note has, I've read a lot about barbecue and so forth with this. Well, this particular tobacco has that. It smells like a sweet barbecue sauce almost. And it doesn't have a very sweet taste when you smoke it, but it smells sweet. It smells very smoky. Now, it's a different kind of smokiness if you've never smoked Kentucky. It doesn't have the firewood smoky smell of Latakia, but rather it's more of your barbecue grill when you're smoking something. Like if you throw a hickory or pecan wood chips on your smoker, that's what this is going to be more like. It's not the English style smokiness, but it is fired, so it has some smokiness to it, but it's not like the English. Now, I will say that the FDA did not lie about this one. It does have some nicotine in it, quite a bit. In fact, this Amphora has one of the highest amounts of nicotine that I've ever gotten out of a tobacco. I think Peterson's Irish Flake is the only one I can think of that I've gotten more nicotine out of, but that's another show. You see it comes as a broken flake, which allows you to rub this. You will have to work on this a little bit before you put it in your pipe. It is a broken flake. It's a flake that's just been kind of chopped up for you, and you can either rub it out, which is usually what I do, or you can line it up if you want to and sort of fold and stuff it, which I have done. That works. Or you can use I forget the name of it, where you twist the method where you twist it and pack it in. You can do that too. You can prepare this just any kind of way you want to. That broken flake is very handy. I have some other broken flakes that I like. It's going to work similar to crumble cake. You may rub it. You can't really fold and stuff or twist up crumble cakes, but it's easy to pack. The moisture is just right. It's a tiny bit drier now than it was when I bought it, but that's just, pouches are going to dry a little faster. But it has a good, let's talk about the mouthfeel for a minute. It's a pretty solid mouthfeel. It makes good smoke. For that, it makes good smoke rings. Now, let me tell you about this. This is one you're going to smoke slow. If you load up a full bowl of this, you will need to set aside a good 45 minutes. Pace yourself because, one, this burns kind of hot. It burns almost as hot as Virginia. So you're going to have to smoke this slowly. Plus, it's strong. This is a very, very strong tobacco. I'm trying to think of how to describe the flavors. It's, again, smoky, but it's more like a smoker or barbecue grill type smokiness rather than the English style. It's has a tiny, like I think I already said it, a tiny noticeable bit of sweetness to it, but it's just barely there. You'll get that in the pouch note. The pouch note is sweet, but the smoke itself is savory. It's got a little spiciness to it, but more like more of a white pepper type spiciness, I would say, or more like black pepper really than white pepper to it. But it's not going to be so spicy that you can't stand it in your mouth. But this is a strong tobacco, though. You're gonna have to set aside time to smoke it slow. It is the room note is smoky, so I wouldn't recommend smoking this in the house. I don't smoke in the house anyway. But this is another one of those tobaccos that is not going to be so much of a crowd pleaser. This is one more for the smoker rather than the smoky. So keep that in mind. This is not that you might not want to take this to the rock concert or whatever, what have you, if you're worried about the room note, because it does not have. I won't say it's off-putting. I think it would be more attractive than something like Nightcap or Punch, but just barely. The room note is not one that people are going to say, "Ooh, that smells good." And there again, I use that term pipe smell, that sweet, fragrant, aromatic pipe smell that people think of when they think of a pipe. This doesn't have that. Okay, but let me give you my personal thoughts on it. I love it, and when I want a stronger tobacco, this is what I reach for. As previously noted, I have things like Peterson's Irish Flake, an extremely strong tobacco, but we'll talk about it some other time. I like this better, surprisingly, than this gem right here, Mac Baron's Double H Bold Kentucky. Now this is very strong too. But here's the thing about this. I think this is going to age better. I've had this maybe 5 months now, and I can already tell. I've had these. I bought the Amphora before I bought this one, about a month before. I've had this about 6 months, and the Bold Kentucky about 5 months. And I can tell you this is going to age better. The Double H Bold Kentucky is going to age better. It's going to become better over time than this will. But starting out, fresh from the package, the Amphora is better. I like the overall flavor better. But again, I think in another 6 months, the Bold Kentucky is going to be even better than the Amphora is now. But don't be afraid of this. If you like high quality tobacco, you don't have to be afraid of this pouch. This is a pouch, but it's not an OTC, over-the-counter drugstore tobacco. Just because it's in a pouch doesn't automatically mean that it's a cheap drugstore tobacco. I have drugstore tobacco. I have the Captain Blacks. I have the Carter Halls. I've smoked Paladin Cherry and Prince Albert and all that. I've had plenty of drugstore tobacco. This is not. Just because it's in a pouch doesn't mean you have to be afraid of that. This is a good quality tobacco. Again, made by Mac Baron in Denmark. It is a very, very high quality. So don't be scared of it. It's a good Kentucky. I like the flavor of it. Just remember, it is strong. And I'm trying to think of more descriptive terms to use on it, but it's kind of, this is a tough one for me to describe. But if you want a stronger tobacco that still has a pleasant taste, for example, I talked about Irish Flake a minute ago. I don't particularly like the flavor of Irish Flake. I think it's another one of those that needs to age 2 or 3 years in the tin before it really gets to where you're expecting it to go. But this is a strong tobacco with a good and pleasant flavor, a smoky barbecue flavor. And really, guys, I'm sorry, I'm struggling to describe this to you. But if you're wanting something stronger, that's not English or something like that, or not straight Virginia, this is a good one for you. It's only about $9 or $10 a pouch here in the U.S., but I think it's well worth buying. I'm going to buy a lot more of it. I've smoked probably 2/3 of this pouch, and it has aged nicely over the last 4 or 5 months. But I've smoked about 2/3 of it, and I'm definitely going to smoke another pouch of it. I'm going to buy more. I keep my pouches. I don't keep my pouches in any kind of cellar. What I do is I keep them. Let me show you real quick. I keep them in a dry box. This is what I keep my pouches in. An inexpensive plastic, kind of like an ammo can. Has a rubber seal on it. I keep my pouches in a dry box. I don't keep them in any kind of weird cellar or anything. And they stay just fine. They don't dry out. They don't give me any problems in it. So there's an idea for you. That's a $6 dry box you can stuff all your pouches in and don't have to worry about how to organize them. But anyway, try out Amphora Kentucky. I strongly recommend it. I think it will be a great introductory Kentucky. If you've never had it before, never had a Darkfire Kentucky, I would say don't start with this. This is one of the strongest tobaccos that I've ever had, and it's marketed as such. They don't pull any punches with it. They tell you it's a strong tobacco. The reviewers will say it's strong. So Kentucky is a little stouter. Try out the Amphora. If you're looking to try it out, this will be a great introduction. Just because it's a lower price, $9, $10, just because it's in a pouch doesn't mean it can't be good quality. You know who makes it, so you know it's good stuff. Again, I'm sorry I can't describe it better to you, but it is well worth trying. I just wanted to let you know, try this out. if you're interested in Kentucky. I keep repeating myself. Sorry about that. Still working on this. Still new to YouTube, and I'm naturally long-winded. Nature of being a preacher, I guess. But try out Amphora, Kentucky. I think you won't be disappointed. I enjoyed it. More reviews are coming up this week. Working on that. Had a delay. I wanted to try to get this up yesterday, but it's gonna be up today, Tuesday. I'm running all kind of late. My pre-dawn smoke that I took actually took place an hour after daylight this morning. So things are just running behind. But this is the first one. I'm going to try to get 3 more reviews up this week, and we're going to have a good time. Thank you for watching. This is Moderate Fanatic. I do not have a catchphrase.